Hello and welcome to my channel, The Weekend Reviewer, where I analyze a movie based on its positives, negatives, and my 5 pillars of rating, that is the story, the screenplay, acting, other departments, and overall package. Now let's see how I feel about this week's release, Leo. Now, compared to Vijay and Lokesh Kanakaraj previous collaboration, Master, Leo is a much more toned down version of Thalapathy and more of Lokesh Kanakaraj style of movie making. And it is an out and out action movie. Let's be clear about that. But at the same time, it is missing the emotional core which we had in Lokesh Kanakaraj's Kaidi movie, Vikram movie, and many other Thalapathy's previous movies with Atlee. However, I can definitely say that Lokesh Kanakaraj can be deemed as the Indian version of Quentin Tarantino. He has an amazing taste of showing action sequences which are very well choreographed, and they show in this movie. It is one of the biggest strengths of this movie. Now let's look at some positives about the movie. I loved the fact that the older generation heroes right now are trying to play their own age. It started off with Vikram and continued with Jailer, and also this week's very own Balakrishna's Bhagavan Kesari, and Vijay Thalapathy in this movie also plays his age with a teenage son and a daughter, which is very refreshing trend. I hope it continues so that people come to the theaters to see the new avatars of their favorite heroes. Apart from that, Vijay's acting and Sanjay Dutt's acting are actually very good in a action movie. I would even say that this might be Vijay Thalapathy's best acting performance, at least in my recent memory. I would rate this really very solid acting by Vijay in this movie. Also, Anirudh's BGM. How can we go wrong with Anirudh's BGM in a Lokesh Kanakaraj movie? Yes, it is a almost songless movie, but the background score more than makes up for that. And every sequence, every action sequence has a different variation of background score. And the best part is it fades away in the background. Unlike other Anirudh background scores for Jailer and Jawan, it lets Lokesh's vision come forth and also enhances the action sequences and gives you the visual podu movements. As well, one of the very good sequence which I found is the metaphor of an animal. I wouldn't go too much into the details. The metaphor between Parthiban's life and the animal, and it is a very good way of showing what the movie intends, what Parthiban's thought process is, and how he puts it in action while dealing with an animal. That was a very good touch. I wouldn't get into the details because it would be spoilers. And it is a standalone movie on its own. Yes, there are some references to LCU. We'll get to that in the negative section. But it is a standalone Lokesh Kanakaraj movie. Now let's talk about the negatives, and unfortunately there are many negatives in this movie. I actually made a list so that I don't miss them out. So let's go through them. I hate to differentiate movies as first half and second half, post-interval scene and the climaxing. I like to see it as one whole unit of movie. But this movie, I have to point it out, the second half is much better than the first half. probably it was a deliberate way of showing that the calm life or eventless life or monotonous life of Parthiban in the first half, and then get the action going in the second half. There are action sequences, but there is a slowness, there is a lag in the first half whereas the second half it picks up the steam, so to say. Now, the justifications are really weak. There are, as you know, in the flashback, there are some justifications why the core point of the clash between the bad guys and Parthiban is weak, and why in the flashback there was a drift between the good guys and the bad guys is also very weak. I would say this is one of the weakest justifications in Lokesh Kanakaraj movies. I didn't expect that from him, because he is a very talented guy who tries to take care of the story, and it's not even a point of I will leave it to the intelligence of the audience, because he expresses them, but it's a very weak justification. So that's one negative point for sure. And as I said, unnecessary references to Lokesh Kanakaraj cinematic universe. At the beginning, there were some characters coming in. It was okay as a probably a insider's joke, and there were some laughters, but he killed it with the last piece in the end. The beauty of this story, Parthiban's story has to end where it ends and how it ends. There is no point in giving a hope that this character will again merge in the overall LCU. Not at all a good move by Lokesh Kanakaraj. I think it was the pressure of the finances of it, bringing everything together, and just like the Avengers bringing Vijay. How can you ignore Vijay not being in a multi-starrer big budget movie? But it was not required for this story. That was unnecessary. And then there is the weak antagonist. At least Sanjay Dutt has a reason. There is a reasoning why he is bad and why he comes back to hunt for Parthiban. But Arjun Sarja, mind you, he's a good actor, but his role as an antagonist is weak, and he appears weak in front of Vijay, and also he's not bad enough. He's not a very good bad guy. And one thing which you need to remember is the more bad the antagonist, the better is the payoff looking at the heroics of the good guy. So that is also one of the bad negative points which I felt in the movie, and it's pretty obvious. And the last one, it looks like a Berozgari Yojana to hire all the out of work directors and give them cameos in the movie. There are many whom I spotted, and one of them was unintentionally funny. I don't know why he accepted it. And also Gautam Menon, his role is actually an elongated role, but it's more of a screenplay tool, and he even acts as one, as a tool. He's not great in his acting abilities, as we all are aware. He's much better off as a director, but why use someone like him and bring him in as a tool? Any small actor could have done that role. One good director who has transitioned beautifully as an actor is of course S.J. Surya, and I guess he's killing it. I think he enjoys it, and that adds to the acting aspect as well, and the kind of various roles he's getting, he's killing it. That's a different ball game altogether. Now let's get to the rating and my 5 pillars. the story, I would say it's a 0.25 out of 1, because it's a weak story, it's a wafer thin story, and we have seen this type of stories multiple times, especially in South Indian movies, especially in Tamil movies, especially in Vijay's own filmography. It's a very often repeated storyline. So I would say it's 0.25 out of 1. The screenplay, interestingly, I would say it's 0.75 out of 1. Yes, as I said earlier, the pacing is uneven, it's not evenly distributed. Maybe it was a creative choice which was made, but the payoffs which come in the second half are very good, very well paced, and also the placement of those payoffs will catch you off guard. You would have written off those scenes as maybe the scenes were kept just like that, but once they come in the second half, you get a good feeling. So definitely a good way of keeping you engaged. So it's 0.75 out of 1. The acting, again 0.75 out of 1. Yes, Vijay and Sanjay Dutt shine. Trisha is very graceful in her role. It's a limited role, but she's very graceful. All others pale in comparison. They are, I would say, at par or below par. Other departments, I would give it a solid 1 out of 1. The sheer inventiveness of the action sequences, each one is different from the previous one, and each one keeps you engaged. Yes, there are some green screen kind of issues which are amplified when you see it in a theater. They are not on par. They could have been much better, but you get used to that. They are not too much of a deterrent, but the action sequences, that department is really good, and Anirudh's background score and using it at the right time and the right type of background score for that situation is really good. And as well, it's a refreshing change that the movie is shot in Himachal Pradesh. Yes, people talking in Tamil over there might be slightly off, but it's a different kind of a setup. It's picturesque and gives a different feel for the backdrop. So I would rate 1 out of 1 for all the other departments. Overall package is 0.75 out of 1. If you watch it as a Thalapathy Dasara release or Navaratri release or a festival release, no, it's not having all those high elements of a Vijay Thalapathy movie. If you watch it as a Loki movie, comparing it to his previous Vikram, which is one of his best works, it might not be up to your expectations. But if you watch it as a standalone action movie, it is a very well made action movie. It is packaged very well. It is age appropriate for Vijay, and the story is also appropriate, and it has not been diluted by any masala elements. So it has been packaged well, I would say. So it is 0.75 out of 1. Overall, my rating is 3.5 out of 5, which is not bad at all. But we expect more from Lokesh Kanakaraj. We expect always a 4+ kind of a movie. Now, that's my review of Leo movie. Hopefully you liked it. Let me know your feedback, and if you like this style of movie analysis and review, please do consider subscribe,